Hey everyone! So, not long ago, I posted my Johto region review, part 1 and part 2. And in that video, I went into depth on all of the cities and towns in Johto, but also in that video, I tried to be a little objective, tried to keep my personal opinion out of it a little bit. However, in today's video, I am going to be ranking all of the Johto cities and towns, and this will be a subjective video. So I will be giving you my personal opinions on these places. And I love Johto. I think it's a fantastic region, and I don't really see any of the cities or towns being ranked way too low, but we'll see how it goes. Anyway, I'm Sabrina, and you're watching Saffron City TV. Welcome back everyone. So, like I said, I'm going to be ranking the Johto cities and towns. We've got the S tier, the A tier, the B tier, the C tier, the D tier, and the Bullhonky tier. The good news is that I don't know that any of the Johto cities or towns are going to make it into the Bullhonky tier, but we'll see. I couldn't come up with any like nifty names for the tiers this time. So, but I think it's pretty self-explanatory. S is the best and Bullhonky is, well, it's Bullhonky. So, yeah, my computer is over here. My camera is right here, so I'm going to be pivoting a little bit, so y'all just kind of bear with me. Let me quit my jibber-jabbering, and let's get started, shall we? All right, we are going to start with Newbark Town, and yes, as you'll notice, I have Gen 2 and Gen 4 separate because they will be ranked separately, mostly because Gen 4 improves upon Gen 2 a whole lot, and I think a lot of the cities and towns in the Gen 4 games are kind of objectively better. But anyway, let's talk about Newbark Town. So Newbark Town is the player's hometown. It's where the player and their mom lives. It's also where your friendly rival lives, and it's the first place that you'll get to meet your unfriendly rival, Silver, because he's hanging out next to the laboratory, peeking in the windows like a creep. It's also where Professor Elm lives, and I know that he lives there in Gen 2, but specifically in Gen 4, he lives in what I think is like a little apartment building above the laboratory, and I think that that's really cute. I really love the music that plays in Newbark Town. So Gen 2 Newbark, I think, can go into the B tier. There are incentives to kind of revisit Newbark Town. So like if you let your mom save money for you, you can always go back and talk to her and pull money out and stuff like that. So there is a reason to revisit, and obviously you have to revisit it at least once after you go talk to Mr. Pokemon. I like Newbark Town. I think it's really iconic. I think it's really memorable, but is it like one of the coolest towns in Johto? I mean, it's okay. It's all right. I like Newbark Town. I don't have anything against it. But Gen 4 is going in the A tier because I really like that it has like windmills and the weather there is visibly windy. I think that that's really, really cool. And I think it adds a lot of ambiance to Newbark Town. So I think it deserves to be in the A tier in Gen 4. All right, moving on to Cherry Grove City, the city of nothing. I'm just kidding. No, I like Cherry Grove. I like the pink aesthetic. I like the flowers. I like that it's located next to the beach. But there ain't nothing to do here. There's literally nothing to do in Cherry Grove City. I mean, yes, you do get the running shoes and the map card, but outside of that, there is no reason to revisit this place. I mean, yeah, I guess after you get the HM for Surf and Gen 4 Rock Climb, yeah, you can come back and get some kind of hidden items, but outside of that, Cherry Grove is just a cute little place to pass through. And I do think that it's really cute, and I do think it's really charming, especially in Gen 4, so I'm not going to put it in the Bullhonky tier, but it's a nothing burger of a place, unfortunately. So I'm going to be putting both Gen 2 and Gen 4 into the D tier. Is it cuter in Gen 4? Yeah, but there's just not anything going on. Anyway, next up we've got Violet City, and I like Violet City a lot. I really do. You've got the Sprout Tower. You've got an in-game trade for an Onyx, which will be good to help you against the gym leader Faulkner. There's a girl there that nicknamed her Pidgey strawberry, like that's adorable. There's also the trainer school. So like there's some stuff happening in Violet City, and I don't know that there's too many reasons to return to this place outside of in Gen 4. You can talk to Primo and you can exchange shards for berries. So there's kind of some incentive to revisit, especially if you just wanted to visit Sprout Tower for a second time to get a Ghastly at nighttime maybe. So I really like Violet City. I think it's a really great place. I'm going to go ahead and put both Gen 2. I think I'm going to put Gen 2 in the B tier, and I think I am going to go ahead and put Violet City in the A tier for Gen 4 as well. I just think Gen 4 adds more to the place. Like I said, Primo and the guy that exchanges shards for berries. Plus, it's just more aesthetically pleasing. Like, I really like the bridge that leads to Sprout Tower, and I really like Violet City. I think it's great. It's not the best, but it's really cool. Oh yeah, and I really like the paved pathways, like the little stone pathways and the little lanterns. Yeah, Gen 4 Violet City is definitely adorable. But yeah, that's Violet City. Let's talk about Azalea Town. Yes, I love Azalea so much. Azalea is probably one of my favorite places to visit in Johto. I love the music. I love everything about it. All right, you got the Slowpoke well. You've got Kurt's house. You've got the charcoal kiln. Slowpoke play a really significant role in Azalea Town because at first, when you first visit the city, there's no Slowpoke in town because of Team Rocket doing some shady stuff, cutting off their tails and stuff, and the Slowpoke well kind of morbid. And then when you defeat Team Rocket and they leave the well, the Slowpoke come back into town, and you can kind of see them interacting in the town, and the townspeople are really excited to have them back. And there's lore regarding Slowpoke. I mean, Azalea is just fantastic. It's just amazing. You can actually get an apricorn in Azalea, which I think is really cool. There's a lot of reasons to love Azalea Town, I think. And in Gen 4 especially, because there's like lumber. There's little stacks of lumber all over the place, which hints at the fact that lumber is probably really important to the economy of Azalea Town. And I think little things like that really add to the ambiance of Azalea. And it's one of my favorite places in Johto. And I am going to just go ahead and put Gen 2 and Gen 4 in the S tier. Even the Gen 2 games makes Azalea perfect. As a matter of fact, like you can even tell that the roofs of the buildings and the houses in Azalea are like made out of wood. I think that that's such a cool touch. All right, I love Azalea Town. Anyway, let's move on to Goldenrod City. And this place is just so jam-packed with stuff to do. Like, dude, Goldenrod is awesome. All right, there is no shortage of things to do. And if you are not fully aware of all of the content in Goldenrod, please go watch the Johto region review. You will be impressed. Trust. Okay, trust. I'm not going to break it all down in this video. If you've been to Goldenrod, you know why it's so great. You got the game corner, the department store, the underground, the radio tower, you get a free bike. There's the flower shop. I mean, there's just so much to do in Goldenrod. Gen 4 does kind of add to it by adding the GTS system. Even though the Wi-Fi connectivity is no longer available, it was pretty important at the time that it was available, even though, you know, some people took advantage of it and wanted you to send them a level 1 shiny Arceus for their level 4 Pidgey, and I don't know why they thought it would work. I don't know, maybe for some people it did work, but they did not get me, all right? I was smart. Anyway, the GTS is kind of no longer, I mean, you can go to the GTS, but there's nothing going on in there anymore. So, in Gen 2, I'm going to put Goldenrod in the A tier, and you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and put Goldenrod, where are you? I'm going to put Goldenrod in the A tier in Gen 4 too. I don't know, maybe Goldenrod should be in the S tier. Yeah, let's put Goldenrod in the S tier. I love going to Goldenrod. It's seriously the best, and I like Whitney as the gym leader too. Yeah, Goldenrod is fantastic. It is S tier material, all right? All right, let's move on to Ecruteak. One thing about Ecruteak that separates Gen 4 from Gen 2 is that the Bell Chime Trail that was introduced in Gen 4 isn't the Bell Chime Trail in Gen 2. It's just The bell tower, or the tin tower, I should say, is just part of Ecruteak. And I like to think that the bell chime trail, even though it's technically a separate area, is still part of Ecruteak. I'm gonna count the bell chime trail to be part of Ecruteak City. But either way, there's so much awesomeness about Ecruteak. I mean, you've got the historical aspects, the traditional aspects. You've got the burn tower, the bell/tin tower, the bell chime trail. You've got the dance theater with the kimono girls. I mean, there's just so much amazing stuff going on in Ecruteak. And I honestly think that in both Gen 2 and Gen 4, Ecruteak is an S-tier type city. I know I'm just giving S-tier all of the goods, but like, I genuinely think that these places are S-tier material. Seriously. Like, convince me. Somebody change my mind in the comments section as to why Azalea, Goldenrod, and Ecruteak in both Gen 2 and Gen 4 don't deserve to be in the S tier. I think that they all do. I think that they're all absolutely fantastic. All right, let's move on to Olivine. Yes, the home of the Glitter Lighthouse, the home of the gym leader Jasmine, my favorite gym leader, as she's up there taking care of Amphi, who's gotten sick. And we need to get this lighthouse relit, so the player kind of helps out with that. You've got the Olivine Cafe, you've got the port in Gen 4. It's really cute. There's little flags hanging out all over the place. There is the little benches with beach umbrellas. It's super cute. And I really like Olivine. This place really feels very, very connected to the sailors that come in and out of the port, and I think that that's really cool. I love Jasmine and her little arc and Amphi and all of that. So Gen 2 doesn't feel as robust as the Gen 4 version, so I'm going to put the Gen 2 version in the B tier, and then I'm going to put the Gen 4 version in the A tier. I really like Olivine. I really do. I think Olivine's great. Next up, let's move on to Cianwood City. And boy, is there not a whole lot to do here. Like, well, I say that, but there is stuff to do. Like, you can, you will have to get the special medicine from the Cianwood Pharmacy to take back to Jasmine and Amphi. Back in Olivine, you can get Shucky from Kirk. You can battle the gym leader Chuck, and you can encounter Sweetcoon. But once you're done, and I guess you do get the HM for Fly, but once you're done with all of that, there's really no reason to revisit it in Gen 2, like at all whatsoever. I mean, yeah, you can go talk to Kirk about Shucky, but you don't really need to. So, yeah, Cianwood City in Gen 2 is going to have to go in the D tier. Nah, there's more to do in it than Cherry Grove. Let's put it in the C tier. The Gen 4 is a little bit different because it improves upon it. Like, there is some like drying seaweed stands behind the Pokemon Center. There is access to Cliff Edge Gate, which will take you to the Safari Zone. There's a little bit more going on in Cianwood in Gen 4. So I'm going to put Cianwood in Gen 4 in the B tier. All right, let's move on to Mahogany Town. It's very quaint, very tiny, very small. Has a little bit of history with ninjas in it. And in the Gen 4 games, they've got these little watchtowers that the ninjas used to use. And I really think that that's a cute touch. Team Rocket is here, made their home in this secret souvenir shop that sells Slowpoke tails in Gen 2. Gross. I hate those folks. But anyway, the owners of the souvenir shop, I mean. Mahogany Town is really connected to the Lake of Rage and the Red Gyarados and all of that because the radio signals coming from Team Rocket's HQ are kind of messing with Pokemon in the nearby area. So I really think that Mahogany Town has a lot of significance to it. There's just not a whole lot of reasons to return. Like, after you take care of Team Rocket and you catch the Red Gyarados and all of that, unless you're trying to buy Rage candy bars, there's no reason to return, which kind of makes me sad, but I still think it's really cute and really quaint. And let's not forget about Price. I really like Price too, the gym leader there. But, you know, Mahogany Town could use some development. So in the Gen 2 games, I'm going to put it in the C tier, and the Gen 4, I'm going to put it in the B tier as well, just because I think it's a little cuter. And last, but you know what? Let's move this up. I think Mahogany Town deserves to go in the B tier in Gen 2, and Gen 4 can be in the A tier, just because of how like impactful Mahogany Town is. Yeah, there's a lot of important things going on in Mahogany, so it deserves to kind of go up a rank. I'll give it that. Last but not least, we've got Blackthorn City with the Dragon's Den. But outside of the Dragon's Den, unless you're trying to delete HMs off of your Pokemon, there's not really a whole lot of reasons to come back here either. So let's talk about the reasons that you should kind of enjoy your time here in Blackthorn, and that is to defeat Claire. But in order to get the gym badge, you've got to go to the Dragon's Den, and in Gold and Silver, you'll need to find the Dragon Fang. In Crystal and HGSS, you'll need to make your way to the southern part of the Dragon's Den. Go take the quiz from the Master of the Dragon Tamers, and if you answer all 5 questions correctly, you'll get a Dratini, and you will receive the badge for Blackthorn City. And so I really like the Dragon's Den. I think it's really cool. But Blackthorn still feels like there's not a whole lot going on, and quite frankly, I'm really not that big of a fan of the design of Blackthorn. Had there been maybe a little bit of snow, I probably would like it a little bit more. So the Gen 2 Blackthorn, I'm going to put it in the C tier, and Gen 4 Blackthorn, I mean, it doesn't really improve upon it very much, does it? Like, the towns kind of look a little cooler, or the buildings kind of look a little cooler, but outside of that, there's not a whole lot else going on in Gen 4. I mean, yeah, there's the move reminder and stuff like that, but I think Gen 2 and Gen 4 are pretty similar. So that's my ranking for the cities and towns of Johto. Do you agree? Do you disagree? I don't know. Let me know in the comments below. If you liked this video, make sure you like the video. Right now, I am trying to get to 5K subscribers, and if you'd like to help me reach that goal, make sure that you subscribe and ring the bell icon to be notified whenever I upload a video, because I upload randomly. And if you want to see more content like this from me, do also be sure to subscribe. I know I've said it twice. I am the queen of redundancy today. Anyway, thanks again for tuning in, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!